Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I hope you're doing okay. Welcome to the final rising and ascent. It's all going on. We have a lot happening. A lot is clearing, a lot is releasing. I call it the big purge and merge, the final release of all that we are not, and all the false realities, false phantom matrices, and all that comes with it. All the limiting programming, all the attachments, entities, especially over the last 2 days, massive clearings of the astral levels, all those negative entities, attachments, which are also connected to limiting programming and thought forms and so forth. So there was a lot releasing and still is. So definitely a good time to battle down the hatches. I was in Dublin with my daughter and everybody was just like, and I felt also a bit tense. So, you know, again, we always hold the field, but it's also big happening, as in every interaction is an energetic dance that's happening on both sides. But yeah, as we're the more conscious, usually speaking, and have more awareness, we also have more responsibility and accountability for the realities we hold in place. So to hold the field and to not let things spin out of control. Now, with all this happening, all the polarities are being amplified and all the demons are coming out. Now, this is obviously a continuous theme, but it's amplified as it's a deep release of the negative shadow self, shadow body of the human collective. And that's also all interconnected with the now corrected sound and light fields, which are also holding the sacred geometries, which is what comes before or what informs the meta forms in how to, you know, manifest. So I was talking about, I was sharing about the crystal spiral, about the patterns of perfection and how that also differs from the flower of life that many know, because it's really the new blueprint. And I wanted to make sure that people understand what I was really talking about without going into too much polarity. And I'm not going to go into this now because I did it in a post and I shared it on the YouTube community page as well, if you want to have a look. And also, the way we understand any of this information is always guided by our own belief system, our own perceptions. So I, for example, never said that the flower of life is evil. That's then someone's own perception who reads into that. I know that some people call it the flower of death, which I also never like too much, just because I think it's trying to induce fear on some level, or that's what it does. But it does point towards the truth behind the geometry, which is that it doesn't allow eternal life flow. Okay, it doesn't allow reconnection back to source and reconnection back to your center, because it's also connected to our tree of life configurations. It's connected to 12-strand DNA access, and that's just the start, because we are returning the double diamond sun template, and that's basically access to eternal source life flows and eternal life. Now, the way we want to understand eternal life, I guess we will figure out, but I don't think it's going to be as in we live forever and ever, but we will be very conscious in deciding when we are choosing to ascend into another form. But we will be not, as it is been so far, plagued with disease, illness, death, and decay, as it has been. The way our original blueprints worked, I believe, has been that you would stop aging as such around the age of 30 biologically, and you contain your youthful self, and then you choose consciously when you want to ascend into another body form, not as it is now that nobody knows what's going on after death, and is this all there is, and a total disconnection to source. So it's all interconnected. Our disconnection from source connected with the geometries we've been carrying in our field, because the dark matter body template, which is at the top of you know, it's what instructs the spiritual bodies, and then the spiritual bodies instruct the physical bodies and the life forms we see. So we are changing from carbon to crystalline and from finite to eternal life forms. So it's a very deep transformative process. So at the moment we need a lot of rest. So please allow this. There's a huge healing of the central nervous system happening, and also the vagus nerve upgrades, which is all connected to our fight and flight response also, and also our whole digestive system and nervous system and how we react to stresses in our lives. And that's receiving huge healing, and that's why we also need to rest so much, because we're transforming, transmuting at a very deep cellular, atomic, subatomic level, quantum style. So don't look at it from a time linear perspective, because it's ultimately frequency, and this is happening much quicker as it may seem to be, because it's already happening. We're literally already ascending. We really are. For the last week, we've been receiving very high dimensional frequencies. That's the only thing I see in the message I'm getting. It's just that the polarities are very heightened. Again, it also depends on where do you have your attention of what realities you are experiencing. A lot of these fallen timelines that are clearing are coming up and out again as everything that's been clearing or does clear. It comes up to be seen for what it is, and to see the manipulations behind it, and also for us to now, again, take full control of our realities, of the collective timelines, not from a forcing perspective, because again, whatever needs to happen will happen. We do not have the full highest picture. The highest picture and perspective we can get when we connect back to source consciousness, the cosmic consciousness that's available now. Okay, and it's beyond 5D. Really, it really is beyond 5D, beyond 6D. Okay, it's 12D and beyond. Because this is a multidimensional merge, and it's full connection back to source. Okay, and it's all dimensional layers and levels. And we are looking at it from a three-dimensional, compartmentalized, separated perspective. But it's beyond 5D. Believe me, you do not just want to go 5D. There's still distortions across all those levels. It's just when you pass 12D that we can clear up all this mess. And that is these pre-meta levels, layers that are beyond that level of consciousness, is what informs the dark matter body template, which is finally properly healing all the dark matter abbreviation, or this, you know, the negative entities, which are again connected to negative thought forms, belief systems, and AKA programs, which was what the old matrix hologram simulation was based upon. And ultimately, yes, it comes back to us being the projectors of our realities, but we have been projecting the realities that the ones who are controllers wanted us to create for them, because we've forgotten that we had the power all along. So we had to remember ourselves again, which is what we're doing now. With all of these crystalline activations, huge grid activations, everything is in place. That's all I can see for the solstice. This is the rising, this is our ascent. It's always happening now. Merge and unify with your ascent itself in a timeless silence that is always available. Your one true eternal self is always available. There's no course you need to do, nothing, especially at the end of our ascension journey. We forget about all the books, we let go of all the stuff, and I think a lot of us are doing this. We are tired of information, and we just want to be. And this big beingness is also when we're fully relaxed. This is really when our monadic levels and beyond can really merge with us, because we're really merging with our multidimensional self. And the more relaxed we can be, the easier this goes. And this is the only way really it goes, because it's a stressful state, isn't it? The frenzied anxiety state that we all had to contend with because of the frequencies and, you know, other machinery and weaponry that has been used against us, and psychic attacks and all that jazz. So we had a lot to contend with, and we have been clearing also the moon matrix connections, and all us feeding our sacred life force into the fallen black hole systems. And this is very much connected to the flower of life patterns and the metatronic spiral, and also that consciousness, which is what I am being shown is fully being re-encrypted back to source, because it is a geometry that reassembles what we're leaving behind. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying evil. It's just not what I would want to have people focus on as a pattern all over Gaia during a mass meditation, which they are still going on. And mass meditations in general are an issue. And that's also I wanted to come back to. So first of all, I'm going to do another activation, a remote activation for the solstice at 10 a.m. UK time. I leave the details again below. I left them in the last video as well. So you can just tune in and connect when you wish to and pick up on these keys and codes that we're anchoring in the frequencies that are coming in, and are very much oneness codes, divine union codes, and the new golden timeline codes coming online now. And us really activating our DNA, because the golden timelines are held in our DNA, in our plasma diamond light body on Macabas. So these were the activations that came in with the last activation for the last 666 date. And so we're going to do one for the solstice and another for the 24th of June. And that's the last 666 date. And they've been very powerful, the last two. And we've really been clearing out the moon matrix connections and all the negative attachments, and also the wound healing that has been in connection to dark matter templates that have been connected to moon matrix, and also Saturn matrix, black cube systems. So all this artificial grid system network, it's all coming down. Essentially everything is culminating, everything we've been working on. And again, this has been for a while, but it's literally now culminating. And I think we can all feel it, the massive quantum shifts already happening and imminently unfolding now. This is our big rising and final ascent. It really is. And I know we've been feeling it. And ultimately it's always timeless. So we're not waiting for anything. As I've said many times before, it's always now. There's nothing, it's beyond seeking. You don't seek anymore. There's nothing to seek. It's just the beingness, the remembrance of the one true self, of the unity with oneness. And as we do this, we need to transcend all the separation that's coming up right now. So anyway, if you want to join for the activation, yes, what I wanted to say in combination with that was in regards to meditation, mass meditations, and as well as activations. First of all, always ask your higher self if this is right for you in the moment, because it might not be. Because I said in my last video, I want you to take part for the right reasons. Now, the right reasons wasn't that if you can't afford a donation towards it, that you shouldn't take part. That's not what I meant at all, just to clarify this. What I mean by this is, it's not meant to be just free. I need to make this clear because it's showing up as free on Facebook. It's because it doesn't allow me to do this otherwise. So it's still always free for the ones who cannot make a donation. So don't feel bad if you can't, okay? Or even just a few euros, I do very much appreciate, or more, whatever you are guided to, okay? There's no right or wrong amount. Or if you can't, it's not an issue. But I want you to be very conscious about these choices that you make, what you give your energy body towards. Are you ready for this in this moment? Are you really 100% into it? Or are you just doing it because you think it's free and because just here, heal me? Because this is really for people who are really all in, who know this isn't just a support to bring in more frequency, activations and healing, who value what I'm offering, because it does take a lot from me, okay? Also, as well as I love doing what I'm doing, it's both ends. So to value what is being offered, but also being very conscious about it and what we take part in, you need to be able, to trust me with your energy body, really, and to make these choices very conscious what we're taking part in. And, but I know that many people have been having, again, it's also doesn't do the job for you. You still need to do your inner work. That's why I do the videos and writing along with the activations. It's everything, and we still need to do, again, the work ourselves, okay? It doesn't take that from you, but it's supposed to make it easier and more graceful and quicker, the whole journey. That's what it's there for. So it's really how I used to call them Ascension booster sessions. And that's really for fun, also taking a narrative back there. So, but just be very mindful what you give your energy towards, because it's like your keys and codes and your energy that is being used in these fields. And I used to take part in these meditations religiously every weekend for years. Okay. And I would feel like shit on a Monday every time, like being rolled over. And I thought, oh, it's just, you know, like an energy hangover. Until I really realized, no, it was like the field was not held in good intent. And, you know, the energies of the field and mine were being abused. And I was heavily psychically attacked for years without knowing what was going on and thinking it was just clearing. Okay. And yeah, no, not every activation or healing is supposed to be just making you feel great and high flying. No, there's also clearing involved. It's anything and everything. Every activation is different. The experiences differ and from person to person. So you always pick up what's right for you in the now moment. Okay. And it builds up. So it's layer by layer. We clear that what we don't need anymore and activate more of that we truly are. And together we're so much more powerful. And I know how much these activations have helped us co-create these quantum leaps and shifts in the collective consciousness. They really have. And bringing all these keys and codes in for our cosmic ascension happening now. And it's going to be super quantum. It's beyond what many of the prophecies have told us. That's what I can see for sure. So really accessing cosmic source consciousness. So if you can, just before, details are below, please take part. Also, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Hit the bell if you want to get a reminder if I come on online again. And thank you so much for all the donations and all your support and in all ways, because it comes in many different forms. Okay, but yes, this is all I do, and I really appreciate also the support back that then helps me do what I need to do. And you know, as I've been sharing before, I'm still trying to get enough money together for rent and deposit, and yeah. And we also still need to make miracles happening, because the one challenging timeline I'm definitely experiencing is the housing crisis. So yeah, everywhere I turn. So we are now mastering our inner gifts and abilities by really accessing them within the silence and deep within. So we all have different gifts and abilities, and many also that we share. Yeah. And ultimately the hero's journey is our inner healing. And that's really how we heal everyone else as well. Okay. But it's also now a time for everybody needs to take full responsibility for their own healing. This is the only way this goes, because on New Earth, we can only have self-sovereign beings. That's just the way it is. We're all interdependent. No man or woman is an island all by itself. But we kind of are at that stage at the moment of the cocooning stage, of where we want to really much protect also our energies, where everybody's going through their clearing, as we need to, you know, prepare our butterfly self to come out and fly. All right. And everybody else will be uplifted with us, with the rising in frequency, and it's already happening. Okay, we're already going through this dimensional shift, and it's completing now. And it's really huge happening, upgrades happening to all of our systems and the planetary systems as well. Again, on a quantum level, from micro to macro, across time and space. And this is cosmic. Okay, because the humans, the divine human, is really a mix of all the different galactic races, really the pearl of creation. And through us, we're healing also so many other intergalactic races. Okay, it's all interconnected, but that's also why we're so unique. Okay, and it's really a quantum lift, a shift and healing that's happening, although it seems like drawn out and as if, you know, on some maybe surface level, things are not getting as much better as we maybe have hoped so far. But I see, and many of us can see, what's beyond that last veil, which is basically in the process of lifting now. And it's very much not these, you know, it's based on cosmic consciousness, on God source consciousness, not the fallen, inverted, limiting belief systems, aka programming, that have, again, is what creates matter. Thoughts create matter. What we believe, these programs, is what creates the matrix. Okay, so now we're shifting from the false, artificial, manipulated fallen timelines to the organic creatrix field, but that really takes our full focus and shift in attention from what was to where we want to be. And it's so much down to where we are. I really have to say, I mean, what people are talking about, what's affecting them, it's really not affecting me. As I said, the only foreign timeline thing I have is this whole home issue, which is another deeper issue, which is really at the heart of everything, of everybody being, you know, because also today was, or yesterday was the June 19th, which is the Declaration of Freedom, you know, the end of slavery in America. Now, the energy of that is that an enslavement planet, what it really equates to is that you have to earn a living, okay? That we need to, that people are even homeless, that you don't have your basic needs provided for, because again, who owns the land and the earth anyway to say, oh, you need to pay for this because I own this, you know, when you go right back to the start. So we're all guardians here. We need to move, and we're transcending really the ownership claims to guardianship, a shift in consciousness of not, I own this and it's just my family first and I need to survive. Transcending all these survival fears through unity, because when we all share in a balanced way, there is enough for everyone. And that's exactly, I mean, there are many levels to this, okay, but there are obviously a lot of survival fears and insecurities that need to be purged, because Ascension is ultimately transcending all of these illusions of fear, of survival, not being able to, you know, pay for your food and roof over your head and so forth. So that's really what we're transcending. And I know that this is also connected all with really the three lower chakras, the root, sacral, and solar plexus, which are receiving a lot of clearing and upgrades, because they also relate for me to the lower three realities, three-dimensional realities. And they have obviously a lot to do with our then creational powers and manifestation power. So that's really coming online. And all of these distortions are healing that have kept us connected to the old inverted matrix system and inverted timelines, and feeding into a phantom matrix, our organic life force, which is connected to these old geometries, and with the new patterns of perfection of the crystal lotus flower, which really leads us to eternal source flow, energy flows, so eternal source flow return, and also the butterfly patterns in our energy field, in our Merkaba field, which then circulate the energy so that we have constantly self-sustaining energy flows. And this really comes back to the source and the home we carry within our heart. So really transcending even the idea of us, the belief system that we need to earn a living is so important right now, to really step into our creative power from deep within, not by manipulating the outside reality, but by just knowing we can literally manifest out of thin air, because the higher our consciousness, the least we need to physically do in order to manifest things, okay? So, as I said, I think it was in the post, how do you think the pyramids were built? Do we believe it was thousands of slaves dragging those big stones up the pyramid? Or was it through sound and, you know, levitating objects through the manipulation of sound, knowing how to use sound? Because again, it's all of our memories coming back, and the corrected sound and light fields, which are ultimately what manifests matter, as they are correcting, everything else is being corrected, and also our memories of how we used to build these beautiful monuments and, you know, buildings that have been found and that are still, you know, mystery to modern science. So we are remembering now how we used to do this, and it's also merging of timelines and these realities, as I said, of all the realities, all the dimensions, all of our multidimensional selves, all of these 144,000 archetypes as well, which has a lot to do with also the upgrades we are receiving to our cranium and our brain, because it comes back to really us alchemizing all these distorted archetypes, and also big famous false mother and father archetypes really being purged. So all these distorted masculine, feminine attributes and replacing them with the cosmic mother father archetypes and templates and blueprints now. And that's really equates also to our original divine blueprints, our 144 strands or 144,000 strands of divine human triple helix DNA plus 3 is 1. And this really all is interconnected with, you know, as we know, the 144,000 of us, but really purging all of these archetypes, but as one. Okay, so we all being asked to, whether it's within ourselves or within the people in our environment, to reparent ourselves and to reparent the people in our lives as well. Okay, because we all have been behaving like, you know, wounded children or stuck in teenagehood and never really learned how to grow up. We never really, you know, learned in the society how to become an adult, because we're also running around with our wounds. So we are healing this now, but as we're healing this within ourselves, and also, you know, depending on the situation, we also need to speak up where, you know, another person's distorted behaviors is affecting our lives. And sometimes that might need to be with a sledgehammer. So there's no one right or wrong answer. Divine neutrality and holding the 0 point field doesn't mean that you don't say anything. Absolutely not. The huge clearings and healings of the throat chakra as part of this, also speaking our truth at all times, not being afraid anymore of being rejected, abandoned, attacked, you know, whatever it may be, killed. All right. So these are ancient wounds that have closed down our throat center. This is such a huge part. Also as Blu-rays, huge transmutation, clearing all of this crappy shit is not easy. Healing doesn't look happy. Transmuting all of this crap back into gold takes huge transmutation work, and to the conditioned mind person still stuck in 3D programming, it looks crazy. I know that what I talk about seems, you know, or sounds crazy to quite a few people, but that's quite okay, because we're the visionaries, we're the forerunners, because the old ways of thinking and being and doing things will give you the old realities. Okay, and the doing comes from the being. We need to be fully aligned with our highest expression, with our, you know, cosmic self in the highest way, highest alignment, and that brings everything else in mind. And then you know what to do, because at any moment, in any now moment, you're just constantly flowing. And it's really quantum of what becomes then available. Okay, so you're no longer worrying about what has happened or what you're going to do. You're just anchored in the now moment and you're flowing, and you don't resist anything anymore. So what's really meant for you can really flow to you, because this whole surrender to divine will is so huge right now. The faith and the trust, and just stop controlling, trying to fix the things we can't fix and we don't have control over. It doesn't matter how hard we try. And what we've been feeling also, a lot of us may be feeling very exhausted and just like, doesn't matter, you know, how hard we try, we can't get there. I could really feel it was the ultimate. This is about to shift really big now, really. Like, it's just think limitless, go boundless, see beyond the linear. Okay, just let it come to you though, in the silence. It's not about us trying to think it out. Okay, it's beyond the thinking mind. It's dropping into your heart. It's a higher heart mind connection, connecting to source, your higher levels, in the silence and the stillness. And a lot is coming in. A lot is being activated, the memories, and this is what's bringing the new realities online. And it's about to shift really big, and it's already in the workings, as we can feel. I know it's been a lot of heavy lifting, as I said in the last one, the rupture. Before the rupture comes the big, yeah, where everything needs to be purged. A lot of our fears, insecurities have been purged, any worries, all of these, you know, limiting belief systems we had about ourselves, and that we believed only certain things are possible because of the programming and conditioning. Because you need to see, once you transcend the 3D programming, then comes all the spiritual programming. There's a lot of distortions there, especially it's at the base of all the other distortions. It's all the religious hijacking, the whole spiritual teachings. It's all full of distortions and inversions. just like the consciousness was. And yeah, a lot of this has been inserted on purpose. And actually, the higher you come in the consciousness, the more complex the inversions get. And it gets actually very tricky to discern them. And all you can really do is feel your way through it and learn through experience. That's what it's really ultimately there for. And it's also to remind you that this is your priority. So ultimately, false light teachers, gurus, teachers are not an issue as long as we don't give our power away to them. That wouldn't even be there, because they're filling a gap of the consciousness, because people want to be told. They want to be told what's right and wrong. They want to be told what's happening when. They want to be rescued and saved. That's why we're still looking for some president, or, I don't know, Christ return, or aliens to come and pick us up and rescue us all. We are them. We are it. We are the hero of our own journey and story by healing ourselves. And that also means that we need to speak up when other people overstep their boundaries, and, you know, their actions are affecting us. Because we can't not say anything. Like, also through conflict, you create harmony. Through chaos, you create order. These are the paradoxes. Through destruction, you create. So there are always these polarities. And if we understand the higher order, we understand the higher perfection beyond the seeming chaos that is trying to play out, which is really just a consciousness playing out all its fears. So the more we can transcend and let go of the fears and understand that this is not all there is, we're just having a little view of what reality all is about, and we are about to see a lot more, literally speaking, because it's our vision that is literally shifting along with our perception and consciousness. And that's what's bringing the new realities online, projecting them out into our reality, which are always around us. But if you would have lifted the curtain before the cleanup, that wouldn't have looked so fun. So, I mean, again, it's quantum, it's all interconnected. Yeah, but it's where our true power lies. It's our thought, beliefs, how we behave. And again, you can also have, conflicts with other people, but stay the neutral observer point within the conflict. It doesn't mean that you avoid conflict and that you always just zen and just have no reactions. That's not what the 0 point is about, not at all. No, we're here to sort out our realities as well. And again, sometimes it takes speaking up really loudly for other people to hear you. And then, at some point we just, we don't say anything anymore. Or again, situation to situation, it's different. And we are different with different people. Again, it's all an energetic dance, and it's all a co-creation. So we need to get away from, it's anyone's fault. It's a happening. We just need to see, okay, this is what I can maybe do better next time, and this is what they didn't do right. But it's a co-creation. It's never just one person's fault as such. But we need to speak up where there's something wrong. Otherwise, we don't get the resolution. Because us just getting along and pretending everything is fine is the issue here. People pretending things are fine that are not fine. It's the whole, suppression and what's it called, emotional bypassing. When people don't really, when you avoid the shadow work, because healing is not about just rainbows and butterflies and feeling great. It's not. It's a lot of messy, painful work. And a lot of us that do a lot of the transmutation work notice. And we're now at a point where it's like, okay, enough. Everybody now needs to, we've basically transmuted enough, but everybody needs to now be able to see, you need to be able to self-reflect and contemplate on yourself and what happens in your reality, so we can learn. If we don't want to, if we think we got everything right all the time, and still not happy with our realities, then obviously, we all have areas where we cannot see. That's what we have one another for. We all have areas where we can expand more and awaken more. But awakening is on. The disclosure is on. Ascension is on. It's all happening in slow motion. And again, your experience of it depends on where your focus is, totally. I would very much, over the last few days, I've been quiet because I needed to be quiet. I need to really at the moment also learn to shift my focus from serving everyone else and also serve myself. I really need to look after myself also. And then I can balance it out. Plus the energies just requested me to be really, I just wanted to be fully present in the now moment, not be on my phone or, worry about anything. Not that I worry, but, just, I mean, I always just really create and share in the now moment due to guidance. But it's been the first time in a while that I haven't really felt the need to share anything. So, but it's really this whole relaxation, just being present in the now moment, because a lot of us now feeling ungrounded. It's been a big issue for me because of all the frequencies and also of all the interference and attacks that have been happening. So we don't feel safe in our body. And this is part of all this, what's really happening. It's a huge exorcism, planetary exorcism, I mean, cosmic really, and soul retrieval and walking that's happening. And we are now at a stage, I think many of us can feel, we finally feel safe in our body. We finally feel grounded. Finally, it's safe for our multidimensional self to come back all inside, fully healed and unified as one, clearing out all the stuff we no longer need. All these soul pieces and fragments back to source or to the rightful owner that are not part of our original soul matrix. So, and we're also going through this collective monadic merge where we're really unifying with our soul groups again, and we will find each other again. But at this last stage, coming out of our cocoon, there's very much a need to cocoon yourself, because again, also the energies are so intense. And although I needed to be very much, present and relax and enjoy and, focus on self-care, also we're doing a lot of clearing. So I've been doing a lot of clearing, as I'm sure many of us have been doing, to different levels of awareness. We all have been doing this. And that's also another thing to remember. We're all playing roles here. It doesn't matter what level of consciousness people are coming to you as. Remember the original innocence of yourself and of them in all times, as well as seeing them for what they are expressing in the now moment. But know what's the false self and what's the true self. It's a both end. And that's really how we're healing, where we're, calling it out, seeing it for what it is, but also seeing the original innocence and consciousness beyond the false plays and roles playing out. Okay, because these are the archetypes we are neutralizing and transcending and healing, alchemizing at a collective level through our conscious awareness in our field, through our experiences. And this happens through us not judging it. So it is our own distortions, other people's distortions. Okay, nobody's perfect here. You just keep fine-tuning, and you just don't go into these mental conflicts after you had a conflict. You just very quickly know, okay, this was okay, maybe this I'll do differently next time. But ultimately you're just at peace. You straight away come back to peace. But we still need to purge stuff. And again, it doesn't look, or just pretty, and we shouldn't suppress anything. And if sometimes you need to scream, you need to scream, because it needs to come up and out. It opens up your throat chakra. It clears the energy up and out. Okay, you need to release it. And also sometimes I can clearly feel us releasing all these pent up energies. Literally helps it also to release for the planetary body, so you don't have as many earthquakes and so forth. So it's sacred service. Okay, your anger will show you where there's something off. There's nothing non-spiritual about anger. We just don't want it to escalate and spiral out of control, where we create a lot of trauma or implications later on that we regret. Okay, but speaking our truth, walking our truth, the most authentic version of ourselves at all times, no longer afraid of any consequences. That's what makes us also incorruptible. And that's where we need to be, where we are no longer influenced by groupthink and pressure and, what anybody thinks, whether it's our parents or partners or children or co-workers or bosses or the groups we are in. Okay, we do not let this influence ultimately our own highest authority, and our own connection to source, our higher self, comes first. So we don't have any other people that we put onto pedestals, whether it's some ascended master or some teacher or guru or mentor or a parent or whoever it may be. Okay, there's just one pure true God source, and there should not be any other manifestations or, of God in a sense. All what really these ascended masters or these aspects do that we like to relate to sometimes is they're different aspects of source. Okay, but source ultimately you cannot put a picture on. You cannot put a face on it. And we all are it. So yes, these are all pictures of source, but don't make them your God, in a sense. That source is within and you don't need anything for it, whether it be a little figurine, a picture, or a crystal, nothing. It's all within us. Nothing else needed. And that's the big faith and belief. Many times in my journey, it was really one day to the next and the next, and I was always carried because I believe and I trusted. And that's also why I know I had to go for a lot of initiations just to learn that trust, that unwavering trust. No matter what happens, I'm always supported as long as I listen to my higher guidance, my own inner self. That doesn't make sense to any program person or any old 3D belief systems, none at all. It's usually it's the opposite, because this is an upside down world. It's all upside down. It's all been inverted. And a big, huge theme right now, it's all reversing all the reversals, taking back our narratives, our sounds, the tones, it's all being messed with. So these are our instruction sets, our original consciousness being retrieved, reclaimed, our original history, our original memories. Okay, and it's all arising from within. It's all connected also with the crystalline activations that are massive, the DNA activations, also connected to the activations of the grids, because in the grids, these are also, the crystalline beds, crystalline core, crystalline caverns. These are also holding all the data of the tribal records, which are our true history records. And this equals our true blueprints, which equals our multidimensional DNA activation, which we're all reclaiming. Okay, and everybody gets access to this. All right, who is willing to see, to transcend that which they are not, their false self, and merge with their one true self. The more of us do this consciously, the others will pick up on it, okay, that are on a higher soul level wanting to do this, okay? And again, nobody's being left behind. Everybody's ultimately returning back to the source within, or all the way back to source. But we need to fully detach any attachments of what we have, expectations of other people. Everybody really needs to, hold their own responsibility for their own healing. We can't do it for anyone. We don't fix anyone. We're not waiting for anyone. We don't try and control or manipulate anything or anyone. Okay. Sovereignty is our gift for ourselves and others. We're setting everyone free. Oh yeah. And what I wanted to say about so what defines an enslavement planet is literally that you have to, again, earn a living, that you need to work to keep a roof over your head and, food on the table, which really should be a given. So the new reality means that is a given. And that's why I know this is coming, because it's really what I've been working for many years, because I want everybody who is in line with the law of one and the new organic ascension realities to have a home and all their needs provided for, because slavery is over. We are free now. It's all happening from within. It's a frequency. I'm going to cry right now. So it's happened, it's done, okay? And it's literally just us aligning with that knowing, timelessly, it's happening now. It's already happened, happening, and any moment now, the final curtain is fully lifted. And the false mirror in the sky is gone. And we see what's really real and what is not. Because this is not, why does it feel so off? Because it's off. It's artificial. It's an artificial projection. Now, so much is transmuting and quantum shifting within us. So you will see, just allow this rest, allow your transmutation, transformation with your multidimensional diamond avatar self that's already ascended, that consciousness, that awareness, the memories, always accessible in the timeless now. Yes, and we also need to retrieve and correct and clear a lot of stuff for us to be able to align again with source, and also planetary wide with the Andromeda galaxy, and then back into source, away from the black hole system. So it's taken a lot to get us to this point, but it's done on that level. We keep making it happen in every now moment. We keep anchoring, we keep clearing. Again, we will always need to hold the consciousness. Okay, we will always need to stay conscious and aware, always more. And yes, there are also contraction and expansions, but we will never go past the level of where we've been, okay, or fallen this far in the consciousness and asleep within a dream, within a dream, within a dream. So now it's waking, 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 and becoming more and more aware, more and more the conscious co-creators that we came into be, fully holding the timelines, okay? Again, in alignment with divine will, full surrender to the divine plan and your inner instruction sets and manuals, okay? Your coordinates, you hold them within your DNA, and right at the end, you just let it all go. What we think we know, don't know, what came before, this is all new now, okay? So let it all go, just let it go. There's nothing to hold on to, nothing to be afraid of. You have to transcend all fears for the final ascension. You need to transcend any fear of death, any attachments to the 3D world, any attachments to the illusion of matter, because it's not as manifest and as solid as it looks. As we know, when science tells us that everything's just vibrating energy, and we're vibrating quicker and quicker and higher. Okay, so we're literally shifting vibration and frequency and timelines and realities. Okay, and it's quantum. A lot is happening beyond what we can see. A lot of us can feel, see it. Those of us who can see beyond that, which is the obvious and the visible, which is where we need to go in order to see what is really true. Okay, so it's beyond just the conditioned mind. When you drop into your heart, connect with your soul, connect with source, and in the silence and the stillness, the whole universe is there. All the mysteries can be accessed here. Go right back to the core of creation, right back to the start. Okay, and we're now going back to the future where we belong in the quantum. Okay, and let's see what becomes available now. So no attachments, no expectations, just keep staying in the flow, and the time is now. Just keep connecting with your highest version of you, because this is the final rapture, bliss, ascent, love wave. We've already been feeling the huge expansions and these bliss codes and divine union and love codes and ascension keys and codes and freedom codes and abundance codes. They're all unlocking, okay? And all the crap that's been withholding us from accessing the golden timelines with the Soul 666 gateway, which is really clearing all of these false artificial timelines fully, and the old timekeepers access over the timelines and control, and the death seals and the AI networks and materials in our bodies that have connected us to the AI fallen artificial timelines. So it's not a small feat. There's a lot happening. So allow this quantum transformation. I know it seems like forever sometimes, but again, it's all happening beyond, you know, it's like what's happening within the cocoon of the butterfly. For a long time, you don't think anything is happening, but there is a lot happening beyond. That's what's obvious, until poof, within a few seconds, it's all done. In the blink of an eye, from one moment to the next, although it's a long time that leads up to that point. And that's very much the analogy. And that's why also the butterfly analogy in many ways and forms does really fit. And it's really also the pattern, the energetic pattern that is then running within our energy field with the realigned Merkaba and crystal lotus flower configurations and patterns of perfections. Because all the geometries and the sound and the light fields are returned to their original divine blueprints, plus upgrades. So we are returning to our original source codes. And the cosmic quantum tree of life. So again, it's beyond where we have been before. It's even more. it's even bigger, okay? Back to your future where we should be with improvements, all right? So I'm looking forward to what's coming through, and I'm not attached, I don't expect, I just know there's just no more doubt whatsoever that everything is about to shift in our favor, and everything we've worked for is about to pay out in a really big way. And it's all happening. It's already done. I mean, again, we keep, keeping ourselves busy and do what we're guided to do in every now moment, staying in the timeless flow of the now moment, connected to source, and whatever we need to know, we will need to know when we need to know it. And it's all we need to know, quite frankly. And otherwise, we just embrace the uncertainty with childlike wonder. Like, Christmas is coming, you just don't know exactly when, and you don't know exactly what you're getting, but it's going to be awesome. Okay. And again, it's a frequency we access and we emanate and we embody, and that's through our alignment with our cosmic quantum diamond avatar self. Okay. Always available in the quantum now moment and in no time. Right? Because you really need to transcend this whole idea of time, space, gravity, all transcend, limitless, okay? Really activate your magician, your magi self, your gifts and abilities. They're really coming online now with these DNA activations. And at the sun, so solar-wise, we had a lot of solar flares. We are back on a C-class baseline. And we have 9 sunspots facing, and a big solar filament that NASA is warning about at the moment. It's also facing us. So if that releases, I think that's the size of somewhere the distance between Earth and the moon. So it's quite big. It's 222. So yeah, and we had geomagnetic storms. We had a lot of solar winds, very high, even over the 600s. And now a little bit down again. Schumann resonance spikes a little bit, but again, this is way beyond. These are plasma infusions come alive and so forth. So we have it all going on. It's so many layers to what's happening. Okay, it's literally your whole body being re-encrypted back to its original blueprint, along with the planetary body, and it's literally happening at the consciousness level, because again, the consciousness is what informs matter. All right. So I think we're almost done. And this is really also the return of the music of the spheres, which is connected to the crystal lotus flowers configurations that I shared. And this is really the instruction sets for our matter body again. Okay, and these are the corrected sound and light fields. And this is then also, we can only see less than 1% of light, as our 360-degree crystal clear vision in all ways is returning now. We'll be able to see, and we already can see much more color. I mean, we've already had enough gray skies here, but again, I also connect that with a lot of clearing, and I got confirmation for that. It's very much the weather is ultimately a reflection of the consciousness, and the elementals are also clearing along with matter. That's also what the aurora plasma infusions do. And this is what's re-encrypting matter in itself. And even if we think about manipulated matter, weather and matter, it's ultimately, again, back to manipulated consciousness and the inversions and the false projections and, all the artificialness within the consciousness. So as we're really clearing all of this and are really returning to our original blueprints and the consciousness, quantum style, super extra quantum got so speed, fast, this is shifting our realities. And as I've shared in my last video, I could already see them shifting. And I know we're clearing a lot, but there's also so much awesomeness coming online. Okay, and this solstice is massive. So join me for the activations if you feel aligned with that. Check in with yourself, okay? Be always careful with what you give your keys and codes and your energy towards, because I know, if you take part in these big mass activations and meditations, your energy can be used also for negative purposes. I know mine has in the past. I've had a lot of interesting experiences with people misusing my keys and codes without me understanding what was really happening. That's the whole thing, why we need to understand and learn from these experiences, not give our power away by just, you know, wanting someone else to heal us or think, oh, they know better than me, or here, do this for me, and here, you know, you just kind of see them in this great light or see someone else above or below you. That's what we need to just get fully rid of to get to this equal stage where we're all equal. We all just have different gifts and abilities here and different things we're good at. You know, I can do this fairly well, I hope, most agree. But I can't, you know, build a house or can really read a map. Like, I'm very bad with orientation. You know, there's certain things I'm really bad at. So, but other things I'm super good at. And we all have these areas, okay? And some of us are quite versatile, and maybe we're good in many things, and we can make many things, you know, happen. It doesn't need to just be one thing anyway for anyone. There's no limit. You just express yourself in your most authentic, joyful way, not depending on what other people think, whether they like it or not, whether you're going to get a reward for it or a good girl or not. You give yourself the reward, and you don't try and compare yourself with other people. Okay, you can of course get inspired by others, but not from a competitive way of seeing yourself above or beyond, below other people in any shape, way, or form, consciousness level, and so forth. We explain it as higher and lower, but you get me. We're really just, you know, quantum entangled, sorting out different pieces within the consciousness. And as long as we can remember this and the roles we play and keep seeing it as, you know, as the movie that's playing itself out and coming to its final resolution, whilst you're playing your role, because, you know, you're basically just the avatar within the game, understanding, I'm playing a game, instead of someone else kind of pushing your controller buttons. You're the one now. Wait, no, I'm doing the control. Okay, but you can't control all the players in the game, of course not. But you control what you're doing and how you're reacting and interacting. And that shifts the whole game, because, you know, this is your game, this is your reality, but we're all interconnected, quantum entangled with all the other realities. And we are coming now to a resolution within the one consciousness, but it's happening at a much higher level than what's happening here. That's why I also get someone's very frustrated, I feel very limited by language. Although it's my gift, it's also limiting, because, as I said before, as soon as we use language and we talk to other people, this whole 3D thing, first of all, between the egos, and then just the separation that language brings comes in. You, me, them, us, explaining your, you know, it's like, you know, so I understand. I think many of us can relate to autistic children of not wanting to speak as much. I know I feel much more telepathic inclined, and that transcends a lot of the 3D bullshit, ego nonsense, that is keeping us separate and apart, because it's causing so many misunderstandings. It brings separation. But of course, we do the best we can. But you know, the same with noise. Just imagine if we would have much more, which we are going to now, telepathic communication, you wouldn't have all the noise. Also, obviously, with all this industrial nonsense and cars, and yeah. Anyway, I can see it. I can see New Earth, the new timelines. I can't see any in between, really, because this has been a dream. And I've been getting that now for a pretty long time. So, but again, ultimately, this is really in the blink of an eye. And as long as we can remember and keep being aware and awake in the dream, try and make it more fun, whilst you're also working for your shit, because we do need to take it seriously, as well as keeping our humor, making fun of it, because you just need to keep moving through it, moving through it, moving through it. And it's like, just like, you don't resist feeling bad or going through conflict or anything anymore. You just, you know, handle it like a boss, but you also maybe not enjoy the hard times. Whatever may come up, you just flow with it. Non-resistance is key. That's how all the other lower timelines release, because they're ultimately stuck within your DNA and within your field through fear and resistance. Once you release it and you just let everything come to you that's meant for you, all that's meant for you can come to you much more easily. And especially for the feminine, right now that had to be a lot in their masculine energy and doing a lot for them now to really drop more again into the feminine, where we've now integrated for all of this gender divide. It's what I've also been shown for all this gender divide and distortions and all of this playing out. We've also been able to actually integrate the gender within us, so we can come to the androgynous body and consciousness, okay, and unifying all of these aspects, the divine Father, Mother, and Child within us, the Holy Trinity, which is the 0-point field, which is the new good current, which is us fully integrated, unified as one, okay? And we don't feel we need another person to fulfill us. But it would be nice to be with another person who also is fully unified within their own self. That's divine union. That's ascension within. That's us integrating and merging all of our little aspects and multidimensional selves unified as one. Okay, one unified multidimensional self in order. And that's really what we're working on. Everybody's helping us with that. So whilst we can have, fun and also taking it seriously, and every moment is different again, and every situation and every interaction we have. So that's why multidimensionality is, you need to feel out and just flow with what comes out, but be your natural self. Don't tell yourself you shouldn't be angry, or you shouldn't feel this, or you shouldn't feel that. That's all the nonsense. That's all the false programming that needs to shift, deleted. You need to question everything. Ultimately, you know intuitively how you want to react. You just need to be mastering your mental, emotional bodies to an efficient extent where you don't get fully out of balance again and fully in conflict with yourself and out of the neutral observer space of all the craziness that's unfolding, even your own craziness sometimes. Because often also a lot of this is like us neutralizing everything we've still been judging by doing it. That's a big part of it. We are doing the distortions. We are embodying it to then transmute it within ourselves and also within others through holding the neutral observer perspective and state. Only then can we change anything. As long as we still judge, resist, deny any of it, any of us, any of someone else, it will hang around in the field. And the fun part is you can only do this by bringing up the judgment and the anger and the frustration, whatever else it may be. So have fun with it, don't judge it, move through it. Next. Keep adjusting, keep fine-tuning, just keep moving on, keep flowing with it. And it takes as long as it takes, and it moves much more quickly and easily, the less resistance you have to whatever it is that is happening. And keep seeing and ask to be shown the higher perspective, connect with your God soul self, and you'll be grand, okay? Because it's all about us really fine-tuning and unifying with our own internal guidance system and inner knowing, inner wisdom, that inner divine feminine, and really now also our magnetic self. So for those that have been too much in their masculine, now really, again, drawing this to us, okay? Because the masculine has been missing, but they are rising now as well, as within us, so without. And then we can again be more in our feminine energy as well, which we're here, if we have a feminine body, now have more feminine energy, more magnetic energy, drawing now what we wanted to and have already created in the multidimensional quantum field to us with much ease and grace. So just keep manifesting and keep affirming. Everything is aligning, everything is coming together. Keep imagining all that could go right. Okay, this is the time now where big miracles are manifesting. So keep focused on what you want to see happening, okay? And not that which you don't. So keep overwriting and just know deep down, at least I know, again, take what resonates, leave the rest as always, but just know our time is here now. It will all come to us in divine alignment. You just don't wait. You're not afraid. You don't resist. You're not, it's just gone. All this doubt, all the insecurities, all the worries, just release anything still remaining back to source. All back to source, okay? And just fully align with your eternal diamond avatar self, who's already ascended, who knows how this goes, who knows what to do, when to do it, and it will just come online. So there's nothing to miss out, nothing to worry about, nothing to push, nothing to control, just to flow, okay? And to become one with the universe. That's the easiest way to trust the universe. Because beyond all of these conspiracies, it's all conspiring for us. That's the big picture. It really is, because it's not how it looks from a 3D polarized, separated perspective. It's all a massive, big divine orchestration. God does not play dice. It's literally just a question of how long and when, how and when things unfold. And we are all here to co-create this. It's not about just waiting for someone to tell you. It's for us to co-create it actively, however we are guided to. But that active co-creation comes from the aligned beingness. Okay, everything comes from there, because I've tried it. You can move around, have another job, another relationship, doesn't matter what you do. If something hasn't deeply changed deep within you, any outer change will be just very temporary, because you keep bringing your old self with you. I think most of us know this, because we learn to go inside and to really allow this transformation to happen through us, because we know as we shift, we are being the change we want to see in the world. That's how we really create change. That's where our power lies. Every word, every thought, every feeling, every belief. So alchemize it up and out. Embrace it, purge it, merge with your true self, let all the crappy stuff go. Join the activation. So on the solstice at 10 a.m. Oh yeah, one more thing I want to say. So on the solstice at 10 a.m. UK time, which is basically 30 minutes before the full solstice goes direct, the exact time. The other times will be provided below. I actually need to double check them, I think, just for the other international times. And then was the last one for the 24th, the last 666 date. But the funny thing is, on the Facebook event page, it doesn't, I don't know what happened, because I know I put it in from 10 p.m. and it's showing the 25th at some 4 a.m. thing. I can't understand what's happened there, and I can't edit it. At least I couldn't. I'm going to try it again. I'm probably going to redo the event link and link it to the other one. But anyway, just know that it's on the 24th at 10 p.m. UK time, just like the other ones were. Just read the event description beyond the time that it says on Facebook for the 26th, okay, for the 24th. And for the solstice, it's really during the solstice, it's at 10 a.m. UK time. And again, I leave the other times down below. So you know when to tune in remotely, just connect by your intent. You can listen to one of my activations or some music if you want to, or just listen in the silence, whatever you like. But these are really very powerful when we connect together and have the opportunity, especially in a day like that, to hold the field. And obviously the field is already open, it's already active, already a lot happening, but a lot coming online now. And really these oneness codes, now that we transcended the last remaining separation, I can feel coming online, like the cosmic reunion. It's our cosmic remembering, cosmic reunion, our ascension, our final ascent. And again, quantum no time, no attachments. We just open up and receive, but no, it's already so, because it's already done, because we already ascended. Parts of us are always already ascended. So it's literally a remembering and just allowing this and going with the flow and just transcending all you still need to do. So choose your focus, what you're feeding your sacred life force to. So important. And your main connection is always source, and it's also within your high heart. Okay, so I think that's really it. So just embrace the messiness and keep standing up for what's true. Oh yeah, and we're also shifting from a binary code to a multidimensional code. So what I'm seeing is really fuller numbers. So instead of the 1 and the zeros, it's 1 to 9. And it's also really, you know, light language, I often see codes coming down. So it's really multidimensional codings, and the multidimension, which equals the multidimensional access also to these realities, instead of just a binary, you know, 2D strand activation. We're really going full blown. And again, a lot of these, the accretion of our DNA and activation, you are often expanded in higher states. And many of us are already beyond the 5D and keep holding these levels. And again, depending on the moment, you are in different states of expansion in consciousness, dimensional consciousness. So you might already be in 12D or even beyond and have 48 strands of DNA activated in different sequences. You just don't run them all the time, okay? So I think that was really it. Just around one more thing, just around the money, because it's coming up with the whole transcending the enslavement mentality and what we believe we need to do in order to have enough provided for us. It really goes a lot back to us feeling enough as we are, knowing that literally we can now manifest out of thin air. It's not dependent on an outside source, okay? It will come to us as we need it, but not maybe in the old ways of how it always has been. And it's ultimately us understanding that all we need is within us and then project it out. And it comes from a feeling of enoughness, because we brought up the greed last time, and I could really see afterwards the day, and I wrote about it. The download that came in is that we need to then see, okay, if we still get triggered by greed, transcend, of course, the judgment, understand why people are like this, because obviously it's also the other end of not feeling like we have enough. Okay, because also greedy people feel like they don't have enough, because they always want more, and it's never enough. But then where do we sometimes still maybe feel like this? Where are we still judging it? Also, where do we feel we don't have enough money? Where do we worry about money? Mostly it's about the fears connected with money that keep us in these states of not enoughness around money, of fear of not having enough to provide for our family and so forth, and ourselves. Okay, and where we're also really shifting from this whole, the whole new cosmic blueprints of the divine father and mother blueprints, and feminine, masculine, divine child, also comes back to a lot of family healing and patterns being cleared there, and what family means, because ultimately it can mean many things, but it's also who we're choosing, we are all one big human family. We all go back to one race. That's what we cannot forget, okay? Because it's beyond just what our little circle. We also do need to think of everybody else, but it's again, both end, where we make sure we do have enough, but we also, that comes from feeling enough, that comes from not having these survival fears anymore and having transcended all the programming and so forth. And this is now where the abundance is coming in a big way, because we also cleared out all the spells and curses and hexes. I was writing about this. There was a huge healing happening also between the black magicians and white magicians, but ultimately, again, it's just archetypes. It's just, we all embody that to certain extents whenever we abuse manifestation or magic for personal selfish gain. And I believe probably most of us have done this throughout one lifetime or another, at least. And that's where we had to learn again to responsibly and accountably, in alignment with divine will and the law of one, manifest and use our powers, gifts, and abilities, not just for personal gain. And again, this is very much connected to many little moving parts and pieces within the big orchestra of things, of when things manifest and they come in or not. So that's why surrender to divine will is such a huge part. And I think we can all sing a few songs on that. So just release any remaining fear, guilt, shame, blame, insecurities, all that's keeping you also in these lower states of consciousness, of not enoughness, that will hinder abundance coming in now. And it should be being projected, though, from inside out. Okay, it's all us. Remember, we're projecting all of this. So what are we projecting now? Now that we can neutralize all these foreign timelines, okay, in our personal and the collective level. And know yourself as this powerful creator that you are. And it all comes back to loving ourselves as we are. Divine love within, divine union within, ascension. It's all interconnected. It's all really one and the same. And just know keep holding the vision, hold the frequency. It's all within you. And think Mandela effect, quantum timeline mechanics, how things can shift very quickly with the blink of an eye. And they are already shifting. Keep focusing on the changes within yourself that you have control over. Control in the sense of mastering yourself, and keep shifting what you see needs to be shifted in the reality or from the inside out. That's where a lot happens. And then, of course, whatever we've been guided to do to bring into action. But a lot of this right now, what I can see is full surrender, because the realities are fully shifting. They're literally shape-shifting all around us. And matter as we know it is about to change. Huge quantum shifts ahead. The final rise, the final ascent. I wish you all the best, so much love, so many blessings. Join the activations if you like or not. And just take it easy, keep flowing, keep relaxing, keep merging with your multidimensional self as one, purified and healed. And as we unify as one and remembering ourselves again as one, our true history, all of this comes online now, okay? All activated from within our own DNA. One more tip, sing to yourself, record maybe your own, DNA activation, whatever comes from your heart, and then listen to it again. Sing your own light language, just toning, whatever it may be, because ultimately it's really your own sound. Listening to it again is highly activating. I can just recommend this for everyone, how to play with the sound, because I see sound is a big thing, obviously, for me also, that I use in my light language activations and that's why I also make the videos, because it has a huge healing effect. I mean, sound healing I'm a huge fan of, and sound and light healing is a lot what the new healing modalities and energy healing is about. As the sound and light fields are all realigning, and we are returning to the original music of the spheres and our original blueprints, and then also our own sound and light fields that our unique blueprint entails. And all together we make up this beautiful big orchestra that then literally sings creation back to perfection. Okay, for us returning these sacred keys and codes, our true self, all of our quanta, call it all back, your multidimensional self, keep calling it back. Keep feeling safe, okay? Keep transcending any fear, just face it, transcend it. When you're ready, you need to know, you are the only one who knows, okay? When you're ready and for what. And you will know, okay? Just, it's happening. Just let go of the fear you're missing out on anything, can get anything wrong, and the easier this will go, actually, because it's like self-fulfilling prophecies. That's another thing. Be very aware of self-fulfilling prophecies, okay? We've all been writing them. Now they come true. Okay, so much love to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support, being here now, being the love, being the change that makes the shift happen. And we keep making the magic happen, keep making the quantum leaps happen, and all from the inside out, all by shifting our perceptions. That's what shifts our realities in the end. So thank you, and I'll see you sometime soon. Lots of love. Bye.